Every day new products get released on Product Hunt, and today I want to look at 7 of them and analyze their website, how they built it and what they can improve, so you can do it better as well. Hi, my name is Nick, I'm product and web designer and the founder of Grauberg, and we help startups design their products and websites. And over the last 7 years I already saw and built a lot of websites myself, and I always love to analyze how other startups do that as well and recognize trends. Over the past few years I learned how to build a website that actually converts, and that's why I want to look at 7 startup websites today to see how they build it and what they can improve, and also what you can learn from it. So let's dive right into it. So the first website is PostSyncer, and the first thing I always do when I land on a website is to get the first impression. So the first impression is what you see without scrolling, without anything, and I'm trying to understand what I'm getting here. So the startup is called PostSyncer, create once, share everywhere. I think, or I believe, that I can create a post somewhere and then it syncs it to all my socials. What I can see here is that from the headline, I think I get what it is. It's a short headline, but very clear. This is one of the hardest things to do, but I think they did it quite well. And after that, I think they have a lot of different elements that all somehow are not aligned properly. So you have the text, then you have the product hunt badge, you have smaller text, you have the call to actions, and even more credibility. In general, all of these elements are good, they're helpful, but I think they're a bit cramped, so maybe we can just align them in a better way. But what they are doing is really good. They show social proof, #1 product of the day, and that is already used by a lot of creators. What's a bit of a problem is that with all these elements, the call to actions kind of get lost a bit. You want to make sure that the one thing they do is get started, and yeah, I think this is a bit missing. As we scroll the website, all they do is add social proof. That's amazing, and only then they have the product demo. This is really interesting to me, so let's take a look. All right, amazing. It's always nice to have a product demo. It converts even better if you somehow have the product demo as an interactive element or as an animation on your website, so people don't have to click on a video, because then they can look at it at their own pace. They don't have to watch the full video, but I think this is already great. Then you show some features. This is generally nice, and more features. I would even say here this is already too much. Like, if you can just show the tool, you don't have to put all of these texts. This is something that I would say is special. AI content agent, I would highlight this more, because if you look at these sections here, they kind of all look the same. And I'm not reading this text anyways, I'm mainly reading headlines. This is what I stood out. Another thing they did, and that's great, is they highlighted, they added the call to action again. This makes a lot of sense. And again here. Yeah, but in general, I think there are so many features over and over again that people just don't really read it anymore. It just repeats over and over again. But yeah, again, social proof, that's amazing. Pricing, pre-selected as monthly. This is a personal thing with me. I like to have it pre-selected as monthly, just to get a better comparison. If I think if they select it like this, it's always like a bit of a misperception of how much it actually gonna cost monthly. So I like it when it's pre-selected here, but that's just personal preference. This is a great call to action. Start 7-day trial for free. I love this. It literally removes any type of risk from my side, and I can just try it. This you should hide. Like, view full feature comparison. This should be closed down. You don't need it for most of the people. And then FAQs, that's a good idea in general. And the final call to action. Yeah, generally a nice website. They could do a better job in highlighting the features. They already have a great demo video, so they don't need, 2 free sections full of explaining the features. So yeah, good website. All right, let's go to the next one, MiroMiro. See any design, grab it, ship it. Seems straightforward. And yeah, looking at the product demo, I think it's quite straightforward what it does. And that's the most important thing. There are so many websites, especially when written with AI, that you really have no idea what they're actually doing. And you need to get that from the initial part of the website. So this is quite good. Very subtle. They have social proof. And the call to action is super clear. Nothing more to do. Add to Chrome, and that's it. That could already be the website, but what helps is, if people are still unsure, add more social proof and give a few more feature showcases. In comparison to the website before, they actually show the features. They don't have some nice graphics, they actually show it. And this is a lot more useful to make a decision here. Another call to action, the pricing, and yeah, this is sometimes this works as well, a personal touch on why they build something, especially with smaller creator tools. Ideally you can add a picture here so people actually see that this is something personal, but yeah, otherwise it's great. And yeah, FAQs. Ideally you can add the call to action here again, just to make sure you're not missing it. But yeah, overall great website. I like it a lot more than the one before. All right, now let's look at Chirpz AI. I can search 280 million papers with AI, and yeah, this is a good bold claim. What I'm missing here in the beginning is some social trust. The good thing is it's very clean. It's very clear what I can do with this tool. However, I would a bit somehow want to know what's the difference between if I just use Claude or ChatGPT for research versus Chirpz AI. So what can this tool do better? Maybe we will find out in the progress. Try now, it's free, is a bit weird because I know AI tools are usually not free. So maybe there's a better way to see the value. For instance, it could be search your first paper or create your first citation, something like this. Then we have a product demo, which is basically just a chat AI working. So I would love to see more in detail how I can do something specific, like find a specific study or, I don't know, cite a specific study for my work. So in general, you want to be as specific as possible because people don't just look for citation tools or research tools. They actually want to get something done. And if you show that in your product demo, you're golden. All right, then we have some social trust. Product of the day, that's great, and trusted by researchers. Perfect. So even if you don't have any customers yet, you can always showcase the logos of some users. That already helps. Then we have a few features. Yeah, I would say I've designed like animations and visuals for features like this a lot, and nowadays showing a chat box or some animation writing a text is not that impactful anymore. You need to somehow show exactly what you're doing, and especially with text heavy visuals, no one is gonna read that, so get suggestions needs to be visually easier to understand. All right. And then FAQs, nice. I would add, again, I would end with a call to action in the end, just to make sure they actually get started finally. But yeah, so the good thing is it's very clear what the tool is. It's not that clear how I can personally use it and how that would look like. And that's all the website needs to do. So before we go into the next website, all of the websites you can find here I rebuilt in Figma. You can download this file. I will add a link below. Not only those 7 websites, but in total 50 product hunt websites rebuilt component by component, and you can just download it for free, try it out, use it however you want. Again, the link is below. So the next website is Okara, and this is a bit weird because like you basically already are in the app, or at least it looks like it. And from the get-go, I'm not really sure what it is. Of course, I clicked on a link somewhere, so I know it has something to do with idea generation and marketing. But as I scroll down, now I see more about the features. So it's nice, I can get started immediately and add my website. Okay, but then it goes to the login. So you show all the features, you show the models. This is really, really useful for AI websites, specifically highlighting what can Claude do and what can I do, what that's better. Because I'm a person, I will try out everything in Claude first before I try out a new tool, and this is really helpful. Yeah, this is great, keeping the chats private. Customer proof, amazing, directly from Product Hunt, which is incredibly easy to do. The pricing and some FAQs. Again, I would end with a call to action to get started at the bottom. But yeah, in general, I like the idea that you can get started immediately with what looks like something that you're already in the tool. However, depending on where I come from, I don't really have the context of what this tool actually is. All right, the next website is Invoce AI, and it's invoicing powered by AI. So what does that mean? I'm not sure. It is for me, it's for freelancers, small businesses, that's great. And I can get started for free. All right. In general, I would say you can write a better headline, something that is a pain specifically that I already have. For instance, generate AI invoices with a click of a button, or never worry about getting paid again, or something like this. Below you have a product demo, which is just a picture of a dashboard. I would love to see a better product demo here, showcasing exactly how you solve a specific problem for me, or walk me through the whole software, or at least the most important parts. Yeah, you have features here, track everything. It's not that clear what it is, but yeah, let's take another look. Okay, it looks like it's something. Well, to be honest, I'm not sure what this tool is doing. Okay, it's great. You have a free plan to get started and a lifetime plan. That's nice. This is amazing, showing some social trust. To be honest, I don't really care that it's just free testimonials. It's better than nothing. And then you have some FAQs. Okay, yeah, I really don't know what the tool is doing for me, how I can use it, and what is special about it. Why can I not just use Claude, for instance? So I would love to improve the headline and how you present the features in what specific way. Other than that, I think I really like that you add social trust, but it needs to be crystal clear what the startup is doing on the website. All right, now let's look at Fluxer, a chat app that puts you first. Is a free open source instant messaging and platform built for friends, groups and communities. Okay, to be honest, I'm not really sure what it is that puts me first. I don't know if that's for business or for private conversations. What is clear, okay, to be honest, download for Mac or open in browser. I guess you can do both. Okay, in that way it makes sense. I'm missing a bit of social trust here, to be honest. So, but maybe we find that a bit later. All right, so now we look at the product demo or the screenshots. Looks like Slack or like a mix of Discord and Slack. Yeah, it sucks a bit that it's just a picture. Maybe we'll see a bit more what's available today. Yes, it does say here it's in the beta, but to be fair, yeah, nowadays it's incredibly hard to convince users to use your tool. Everyone is in beta all the time, and yeah, you just have to be, you have to stand out and be better there. So you're explaining the features. Again, please invest some time and showcase features, how they work. Get involved, yeah, that's great. Tell people how they can get started. Well, yeah, it is quite early on. However, yeah, you need to do a better job at explaining what this is exactly, why this is for me. It looks a bit like Discord. Maybe this is more gaming focused or more developer focused. Generally, it looks nice, nothing special. Maybe AI generated with all these icons. If you develop your website with an AI tool, tell it specifically to use less icons, because that's an easy giveaway of, yeah, looking like AI. All right, final website, Toma.com. Your AI operating system for dealership conversations. I can get behind the idea that this is a CRM for dealerships, for tracking conversations and making deals. I really like the graphic here. It is probably AI generated, but still looks quite authentic. As you scroll, you see some really interesting brands. So social proof is here already. It's also very clear about booking a demo. So it's a sales-led approach. You cannot use the app right away. You get it presented via demo. This is totally fine. Then in a very clear and simple way, you highlight each and every feature. So you don't show the full software, you show the specific elements that someone should look at. And that's a lot easier to read and understand. And I like how they switch through the features one by one. And yeah, it looks like they go specifically to pain points that dealerships have. For instance, if a call gets disconnected, it messages John automatically. And yeah, they add up a really well designed testimonial. Then this is something that it's probably an objection they've heard in sales calls, and it really safeguards everything and makes sure nothing gets fucked up. So they're already objection handling on the website. Then they explain more features, coming with a testimonial again, and a lot more trust. Trust with results, logos, and images, and even a video here. This is incredibly well designed. They even give a roadmap of how you can get started with AI, because I can imagine that they have a bit longer sales cycles. People struggle to understand how they can get started. So they even talk about that. And then, just give some basic blog posts. And end with a call to action. Lovely. This is an incredibly well designed website. Well done. All right, that sums up the websites. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want, I can do more videos like this. I can analyze Y Combinator websites or more product hunt websites, and go into detail of what works, what they can improve. And again, if you want to have this, all these websites I showed today in a Figma file, you can download it for free. Just look at the link below, and you can edit them and work with them.